Most people spend more time and energy going around problems than in trying to solve them. We sometimes complicate life by avoiding the present by seeking out other people to provide us with answers and solutions to our problems, and this is especially true as soon as we start thinking about how to solve a problem. This quote is a powerful reminder that it is better to confront problems head on and solve them rather than avoiding them. It has been my observation that people get ahead during the time that others, in today's society, it takes a lot of effort to get ahead. With the advent of technology, many jobs have been replaced by machines or software that can do the job much faster than humans. In order to stay competitive, people will need to work harder and smarter than ever before. This quote reminds me of how important it is for people to focus on their work and not worry about what others are doing. Givers have to set limits because takers rarely do. Many people feel generous by giving time, money, or even their own time and effort, but there are some people who feel like they need to receive in order to feel good about themselves. This can lead them into a cycle of constantly needing more from others, while not giving anything back in return. It's important to recognize the difference between these two types of people and how they contribute differently in the world. Takers also tend to be less sympathetic than givers. Givers have to set limits because takers rarely do. You can't learn in school what the world is going to do next year. This quote shows how people who are interested in learning about the future should not limit their knowledge to what they learn in school. Instead, they should look for different ways to learn more about what's happening today and what might happen tomorrow. One way of doing this is by looking at predictions from experts in your field, whether it be business, technology, or anything else. Failure is simply the opportunity to begin again, this time more intelligently. Failure is part of life. It is the chance to learn and grow from a mistake, and there are many ways to learn from your mistakes, one of which is by listening to others who have been through the same experience. When it comes to failure, you can either be a victim or an opportunist. If you want to learn more about failure and how you can improve yourself, then listen to those who are already familiar with it. When everything seems to be going against you, remember that the airplane takes off against the wind, not with it. It's easy to feel like everything is going against you when you're in a tough spot. It's important to remember that the airplane takes off against the wind, not with it. When all else fails, remember that there is always hope and that things will get better. If you think you can do a thing or think you can't do a thing, you're right. This quote by Henry Ford is the perfect example of how we should not judge ourselves based on what we think we can or cannot do. If you have the idea and passion to do something, then you should go ahead and try it out. The more time you spend thinking about whether or not you are capable of doing something, the less time you spend actually doing it. The unhappiest man on earth is the one who has nothing to do. It says that the happiest people are those who have something to do and are busy doing it. These people are not just happy, but they also feel fulfilled and accomplished. I think it's important for us to be aware of what we are doing and how we are spending our time. We can also use this quote as a reminder that it's important to have something that you enjoy doing in your life so you can be happy. You may think the grass is greener on the other side, but if you take the time to water your own grass, it would be just as green. We all have the tendency to compare ourselves with others. It's natural and it can be a good thing if it helps us improve our own lives. But when we compare ourselves to others and think that life is better on the other side, we may feel like we are not living up to our potential. This is an analogy for how important it is for us to take care of what we have, instead of focusing on what others have. This applies not just in the financial sense, but also in other aspects of life, such as relationships and happiness. If you have little money, women always help you spend the rest. It is a common misconception that women always help men spend their money, as they are more likely to be the ones who use their credit cards and pay for everything. But this saying is not completely true, as there are many men who help women by paying for things. This quote by Henry Ford is often used as an example of what is considered as typical gender stereotypes. Quality means doing it right when no one is looking. Quality is the most important aspect of a work, especially when it comes to your career. The goal is not just to make enough money, but also to get recognized for the work you do. If you want people to respect your work, then there are certain things that you need to keep in mind. One of them is being open and communicating with other people. Not only will they help you improve your skill set, but also give feedback on what they like and what they don't like about the work. Don't find fault, find remedy. Anybody can complain. The saying promotes the idea that it's easier to see what went wrong and complain about it rather than finding solutions and moving on. This phrase encourages us to look for solutions instead of looking for faults within ourselves or others, because there is always something that needs improvement in someone's life. This saying can be applied to many other aspects of life, such as when we are going through criticism or when our colleagues are getting on our nerves. Complaining does nothing to change anything. It makes people feel good and it allows them to point fingers at the causes of their misery. The key takeaway from this saying is that it's important not to do well on negativity, but rather focus on finding solutions for the problems at hand. You